Hey everyone, it's Livia here, aka Story Minded, and I'm going to be continuing to read Grammar for Grown-Ups. This is the section on apostrophes, so I'm going to try and do my best to read it through the camera so you can actually sort of see the examples. So the petite apostrophe causes more errors than any other punctuation mark. It is the arch enemy of your computer's grammar checker, which will usually fail to spot its misuse. Beware, apostrophe errors will damage your credibility. There are specific rules about when to use an apostrophe, so if you're thinking about shoving one into a word, make sure it's for one of the following reasons. To show a possession, so a dog's breakfast. To replace a letter or letters, can't instead of cannot. In an expression such as 2 years' misery. To show the plural of an abbreviation, a letter or a number. Yes, your sixes look like G's. If you use an apostrophe for anything else, it's wrong. You should expect your readers to spot your apostrophe errors. They may not say it to your face, but they'll think you're a bit of a buffoon if you let more than one slip. I'm sorry for starting this book so aggressively, but your audience will afford you no leniency when it comes to apostrophes. So, apostrophes used incorrectly with plurals. The most common mistake with an apostrophe is to stick it before the S of a word that ends in an S, usually a plural word. The plurals of words ending in vowels, for example video or patio, are extremely prone to this error. Examples: dogs look up to us and cats look down on us. I prefer pigs. They treat us as equals. Badly transcribed version of a Sir Winston Churchill quote. Anteaters prefer termites to ants. Pearls melt in vinegar. Rent 2 adult videos for the price of 1. Once a word flies out, you cannot catch it. Badly translated Russian proverb. It's not just plural words that attract this error. It's all words ending with an S. This should be flies. There should be no apostrophes in any of the 5 examples above. Putting a bad apostrophe before the S in a word is considered a grammatical howler. Look at this example. If the local tribal influences over them diminish, members of Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan might start drifting into eastern Afghanistan in search of US targets. There should be no apostrophes in this example. If you riddle your work with apostrophe errors, you will damage your credibility and there is a danger your readers will ignore your message. An erroneous apostrophe in a plural word is widely known as a greengrocer's apostrophe because you see it so often on their stalls. Apples, bananas, grapes. These always remind me of a scene in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Do you remember when Charlie turns to his grandpa after failing to find a golden ticket and says, "You know, I bet those golden tickets make the chocolate taste awful." Well, when I see a greengrocer's apostrophe, I think, you know, I bet those apostrophes make the apples taste awful. And I buy my apples from a grocer who can resist penning an apostrophe whenever he ends a word with an S. I'm not sure that's a good basis for selecting fruit. Do you have any apostrophe apples? So, apostrophes to show possession. An apostrophe and the letter S are often used to show possession. Examples: Wagner's music is better than it sounds. A friend's eye is a good mirror. A guest should be blind in another man's house. A foolish woman knew a foolish man's faults. Apostrophe before the S. In each example above, the model is A's, B. Wagner's music, friend's eye, man's house, man's faults. When A is singular, the model is A's, B. No one cares whether B is singular or plural. Notice that the apostrophe is before the S. It is always before the S when A is singular. These examples are about one Wagner, one friend, one man, and one man. It doesn't matter a jot whether B is singular or plural. Look at the last 2 examples. A man's house, house is singular, and a man's faults, faults is plural. If A is singular, then the apostrophe is before the S. Of course, it is possible for the apostrophe to appear after the S. This happens when A is plural. The model becomes A's, B. Examples: psychiatry enables us to correct our faults by confessing our parents' shortcomings. Take away the miseries and you take away some folks' reason for living. So, If A is singular, the apostrophe is before the S. If A is plural, it's after the S. It's still irrelevant whether B is singular or plural. For example, dog's breakfast, one dog, one breakfast. Dog's breakfasts, one dog, several breakfasts. Dog's breakfast, several dogs, one breakfast. Dog's breakfasts, several dogs, several breakfasts. Well, that all seems pretty straightforward. Oh, don't worry, it gets more complicated. I'll finish this bit and then I'll probably do this on another video because there's quite a bit more to go. Exception to the rule, plurals not ending in S. Mistakes with apostrophes are very common. One reason for this is the number of exceptions to the rules above. For example, plural words which do not end in the letters S, for example, men, people, children, have the apostrophe before the S when shown possession. Examples: he is the people's poet. Leave the children's presents in the hall until they have gone to bed. Should be children's. All television is children's television. Zeus does not bring all men's plans to fulfillment. So I'll continue on the next page.